Hi, in this video, I'd like to give you a little bit of background information on getting started in Bio 169, Anatomy and Physiology, Part 2. And so, as you see here, I've opened up the Blackboard course for Bio 169. The first thing that you'll see when you log in will be the announcements page. Here's where I will post important announcements through the week, usually 2 to 3 announcements each week, just to kind of keep everyone updated on due dates and important information for the class. This will also, anytime I post an announcement here, this will also send it to your JCC email. It is important that you are checking your JCC email on a regular basis. And so just a couple of things here, and then we'll go through more things through the Blackboard course. The first thing you need to do, and I'm going to go over this with you shortly, is to go over the syllabus, and I'll show you where that's at and kind of go through that with you. You also need to complete the enrollment verification quiz. That is located, there's a link here in your Blackboard course called Enrollment Verification Quiz. If you have taken online courses before, which most of you probably have, you're very familiar with that. It only takes a few minutes, but it is very important that you complete this by Wednesday, January 19th. There is no, it doesn't count for any credit, but it is required for the course. It is part of your attendance for the class. So please go ahead and do that today. It only takes a few minutes to complete that. The lab kit that we're going to be using is from eScience. This includes all of the hands-on lab experiments for the course. Now, this is something new this semester. The cost of the lab kit is actually part of your tuition, and by doing that, that actually saves you a few dollars there, but the cost is actually incorporated in your tuition for the course, so you don't need to purchase a separate lab kit from the bookstore. What will happen is the lab kit will actually be automatically shipped to your home address, and hopefully it should arrive kind of late January. And so I'll be kind of keeping up with when those lab kits are shipped out. And so we'll have a couple of labs that do not require the lab kit early on in the semester to kind of get it started. But the actual lab kit you should see arriving, I'm hoping, by the last week in January. You'll need to sign up for the Pearson's Mastering AMP if you had the 168 here at JCC in the past. Then you're probably very familiar with this. If you purchased your Pearson code from the bookstore, then it's probably still valid. I think you get like a 2-year access whenever you purchase it from the bookstore. If you purchase it from Pearson online, I think they have like a 6-month that you can either buy like a 6-month or a year, or maybe even a 2-year access there. So depending on where you purchase your access code from will determine whether it's valid or not now, but probably still valid if you just had 168 in the fall. And so we'll be using this again. This will include your ebook. This is how you're going to be completing some quizzes and homework assignments as well. I'm going to show you this in a little bit, but I'm hoping this is very helpful. I use this in 168 as well to have a kind of an assignment schedule, basically like a pacing guide. It lists all of your due dates and things. That just kind of helps you and me as well stay organized with the course assignments. Now, this is also something new, number 6, that we're going to be using this semester. You're going to be using a proctoring software known as Respondus to complete your exams. Your exams will be proctored, video proctored this semester, and so there's a link in Blackboard that I'll go through in just a little while that gives you more information on how to complete all of that. So again, that's just a quick little overview of some important things to try to get you started. So a couple of things in Blackboard I want to show you. We've already been through the first few things there. When you click on course information, you see a tab for my instructor. That's my contact information is going to be listed here for you. My email address, that's really the best way to contact me. If you've got a quick question for me, then just send me an email and I'll try to respond hopefully that same day, but I'll try to respond as soon as I can. I do have an office location on campus that's in the health building, and my office phone number is there as well. And so I do have office hours. Feel free to come by office hours, or you can, schedule a virtual office hour if you need to do that. Also, in the course information section, you'll find the syllabus. You can click on the link if you'd like to open the Word document version. You can print it out if you'd like to have it kind of close by. I'm going to go through this. Anytime you have questions about something in the syllabus, please let me know. Send me an email or give me a call. I'll be glad to help you out here. This is Anatomy and Physiology Part 2. It does count for 4 credit hours. The prerequisite for the course is Bio 168. The last day to withdraw from this course without a grade penalty is March the 29th. And so I'll give you, I'll send out reminders about that a little later in the semester, but that is the last day that you can officially withdraw from the class, and you do not receive a grade penalty if you withdraw on or before March 29th. Again, my contact information is listed here for you. If you do want to use a virtual meeting, or if you schedule a virtual meeting, whatever, here is a link that you can use for a Zoom meeting. That is optional. Of course, you can email or call. All right, let's go through a few setup things about the course. This is, of course, Anatomy and Physiology Part 2. So we'll be covering the remaining human body systems that were not covered in 168. We'll be covering the remaining ones here, beginning with the endocrine system and kind of moving right through. That also includes 3 chapters on cardiovascular. We'll also cover the lymphatic system, respiratory, the digestive system, urinary system, and we'll end with the reproductive system. Kind of mixed in with that, we'll also be talking about metabolism and nutrition that follows the digestive system there. We'll talk about, there's a chapter, it's a really good chapter on acid-base balance, fluid balance, and electrolyte balance. And so those are some critical topics to grasp, especially if you're going into a nursing area. The course format is listed here. Of course, this is 100% online. It's asynchronous, so that means you work kind of at your own schedule. There will be due dates, but most things you kind of work at your own schedule for that, meaning that there will be pre-recorded lecture videos rather than logging in at a specific time. You can watch those lecture videos whenever your schedule, that kind of meets your schedule. All right. We'll be using Pearson's Mastering to complete dynamic study modules and homework assignments. We'll have the eScience kit to complete lab assignments. I will have some discussion board topics to write about. I think I've included about 5 of those. There's not going to be one each week like some online classes have. I have about 5 of those kind of scattered throughout this semester. And we'll do some exams, of course, this semester as well. I'm not going to go over all of the student learning outcomes. These are here. The course-specific ones are kind of here for you. I've also listed some that are specific for certain health-related fields. So if you know that you're really interested in nursing, these are some topics that we're going to be covering that are kind of critical to that area. Medical assisting are a couple of listed here. Radiography is listed here for you as well. The textbook that we use, again, we'll be using the same textbook, the Ammerman. If you've got a hard copy book, that's fine, but you don't have to have a physical textbook because you have access to the ebook. Because you have, it's required to have the Pearson Mastering Access Code. So as long as you're fine using the ebook, then you don't have to have a physical copy of the textbook. You can certainly purchase one, and I'll also show you in Mastering where you can purchase a loose leaf edition if that would help you out as well. I've already mentioned about the lab kit. And so the information is there for you. You will need a some kind of camera. I mean, everybody's got a camera on their phone or whatever, but you need some kind of camera to document your labs when you complete a lab. Some of the labs will require some kind of video, especially when we do lab quizzes or lab practicals. You'll need some kind of way to record that through video, and then some require just some pictures. So you'll see that each week when we go through lab. You'll also need, obviously it's an online course, so you need computer and internet access. You need reliable high-speed internet access, really. And so that is a requirement for the course. And so remember that you can't use computer-related issues if you don't have internet. That's not an excuse not to complete an assignment, because the campus does provide internet. We do have hotspots available. We do have computer labs available, and so you can always come to campus and use the computer lab in the library or somewhere. We are having proctored exams, and so all of the anatomy and physiology hybrid and online courses will be using proctored exams. Online exams are going to be closed book, and we have a free proctoring software for you to use. And so I'll go through this a little bit later, where I'll show you a link in Blackboard. This is just a quick little blurb here about it. There is a web browser software that you're going to be downloading. It's free. It's called Lockdown Browser, that basically works just like it is a web browser. So it downloads it to your computer. That's how you're going to access Blackboard and access the exam. What this browser does is it blocks you from opening any other browser, and it blocks you from printing and different functions like that, copying and pasting and things like that. The other thing is that it includes a program called Respondus Monitor, and that's going to record you while you're taking the exam. And so I'll give you more directions on this a little later, but and show you where all of that is located. Courses that are using My Materials, technically we are using My Materials because of the lab kit is part of this program. And so you can kind of see here, My Materials transform the educational experience for students while also reducing textbook costs. Students may opt out of purchasing the My Materials digital course material provided in select JCC classes. However, students must inform their instructor of their intent to opt out and complete the opt-out form no later than 3 calendar days after the start date of the course. Your instructor will provide you a link to the electronic form, which is basically located here. If you click here, that'll take you to the My Materials website. All right, the course overview. These are just a kind of a glance. I've already really covered this. These are the main topics that we'll be covering in AMP2. The evaluation methods, these are very important. The grades will be maintained, of course, in Blackboard. I do try to update grades very regularly each week, and your official final grade will be posted in WebAdvisor. Everything's based on a 10-point grading scale, and so you're going to be having different types of assignments. We're going to go over those. Late online assignments are not going to be accepted unless you have some kind of medical documentation or some other type of documentation that is approved by your instructor. And so there's no extra credit assignments in the course. Let me show you, everything is based in this course on a point scale system. And so we'll have module exams or unit exams. We'll have 4 of these. Each one will be worth 100 points each, and they must be completed using the proctoring software. Each exam either has 1, 2, 3 chapters associated with it. None of the exams or none of the grades are going to be dropped, and so for your unit exams, there's a possibility of earning up to 400 points. There will be a final exam. I'll give you more information about that later, but that includes some of the part of it is cumulative, and so some of the questions from each of the chapters will be on the final exam. Part of the final exam will be taken from the last couple of chapters in the course that we complete. Lab assignments, there's going to be 12 lab activities to complete. Most of these come directly from the eScience kit. There'll be some that don't require items out of the kit at the very beginning. That's just kind of give us time to allow students to receive their lab kit there. And as I mentioned before, some of the labs will require some kind of video or pictures to document that you completed the assignment. We will be doing a couple of dissections in this course, and each of your lab assignments will count up to 20 points. Now, if you're familiar with the Pearson products, we'll be using dynamic study modules again. This is a very helpful tool. I suggest to do this kind of after or while you're reading the chapter. Please spend some time reading the chapter. These modules are kind of like a flashcard-based system. They present you with a question. They try to adapt to your answers and help you. If you're already kind of read over the notes and watched the videos and done some reading, though, the answers are very, very easy to answer. If you don't know the answers, if you don't spend any time reading ahead of time, then it may take you longer to try to complete these questions. The nice thing is you do not have to complete a module all at once. You can work at your own pace, and however, they have to be completed by the due date to receive your credit, to receive full credit. If you don't complete all of the questions by the due date, then you'll receive partial credit for that module. There's going to be 28 dynamic study modules in the course. Each chapter has at least 2. There's a few chapters that have 3 for the chapter. Some of the longer chapters will actually have 3 dynamic study modules. They're broken into different sections. Each module that you complete will count 2.5 points, so that gives you a possibility of earning 70 points just by completing the dynamic study modules. So this should be helpful as you're going through the chapters to kind of learn the information. The questions are relatively, I'm not going to say easy, but they are kind of basic vocabulary for the course and some basic concepts. The homework is a little more challenging. What I'm calling homework is like a chapter assessment or chapter assignment here. These are a little bit more difficult. I would suggest completing these after you've done the dynamic study modules, after you've read the chapter, after you've completed, watching the lecture videos and things, because these are graded for accuracy. You only have 1 attempt at the homework. It's kind of like a quiz, but they're not timed and it's open book. So it's a little bit better than a quiz, but you do need to study in advance for these. There will be 11 of these. Each chapter that we cover will have a kind of a homework assessment there at the end. Each one is worth 15 points, so it's a little bit more weight associated with these assignments. That'll give you a possibility of earning up to 165 points. As I mentioned before, we'll have a few discussion board posts. These are very easy to complete, so you should be able to get these points here. As long as you follow a couple of criteria. One is that you're required to create an original discussion post, and that original one should be somewhere around 100 to 150 words, and you should have a peer response post that is somewhere around that as well. So the only time that I really take off credit for the discussion boards if you are not completing them. Of course, if you're missing a peer response, or if your word count is lower than it should be. All of the assignments are listed here for you in this little table, and so the number of assignments are listed here, the possible points are listed here, and the total points for that whole category is listed here. Everything should add up to 1,000 total points in the course. And then how the point system works on a 10-point scale is listed here for you. In order to earn an A in the class, you need to earn at least 900 points. A B in the class is 800 to 899. A C in the course, 700 to 799 points. D is 600 to 699 points. And then anything below 600 points will be considered to be an F in the course. Please make sure that you're completing assignments on time. No late work is going to be accepted. You'll receive a 0 for late assignments. If you have a computer issue during an exam, I will reset the exam one time. But what that will do is it will clear your exam and basically give you a new test with different questions. No exams will be reset after the due date has been reached, and you'll just end up with a 0 for that exam. For that reason, I would suggest completing the exam prior to the due date. So I will open up like a 4 or 5 day window for the exam. You may have like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to take the exam, but I wouldn't wait until Monday to take that exam. I would take it a day early if possible. That way, if you do have some type of computer issue, then you have time for me to reset it if needed. All right, below are a few critical success strategies. These are just suggestions to kind of help you through the course. You are expected to complete 6 to 10 hours a week. That's gonna, there's a lot of information to cover. So you're gonna be reading the textbook, watching the lecture videos, completing the labs, completing the homework assignments. So it's gonna take some time to go through the course. Having some background and some basic computer skills are necessary to complete online assignments. I mentioned this before, it's strongly recommended that you complete online assignments about a day before they're due, just to make sure you get those in, just in case any technical problems should arise. Please contact me if you have questions through email. I'll make every effort to respond to emails within 24 hours, maybe a little bit longer if over a weekend or holiday. But I do ask that you check your email often for announcements related to the class. All right, let's cover the attendance policy. Attendance is important for the course. Even though it's an online course, there's still attendance being checked weekly. And so in order to be counted for the course, you have to complete that enrollment verification quiz by January 19th. And attendance for the course is in 2 parts. We have lecture and lab. In order to satisfy these requirements, students must demonstrate active weekly online attendance by submitting at least one type of assignment. One assignment each week counts for your attendance, and it's one for lecture and one for lab. Lecture assignment is one of the weekly participation grades or activities, such as a dynamic study module, chapter homework or discussion board, or even an exam counts as part of your weekly attendance. Failure to submit at least one of these during the week will result in a half week of absence. Lab assignment will be labeled as lab number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever. Failure to submit at least one of the lab assignments during the week will result also in a half week of assignments. So the way this works is for this course, if a student misses 2 total weeks in the course, it can be from any combination of lecture or labs, you can be dropped from the course. This doesn't have to be consecutive weeks. It's just 2 total weeks in the course. It could be 2 weeks worth of 2 lecture weeks and 2 labs. So let's say you don't do any assignments for 2 weeks, no lecture assignments, no lab assignments for 2 weeks, then you're dropped from the course for any 2 weeks. They don't have to be consecutive. Let's say you don't do any lecture assignments for 4 weeks, but you are completing your lab assignments. Well, then that's also considered to be enough to withdraw or to be dropped. Let's say you don't complete 4 labs. Doesn't matter if they're consecutive or not. Let's say you miss 4 labs in the course, then that is then you'll be dropped from the course, or any of those types of combination. You can be dropped at any time during the semester, including time period before the date designated each semester as the last day a student can drop without grade penalty, the withdrawal date. So make sure you kind of understand that. If you have questions at any time about attendance, please let me know. And you will see your grades being updated. So if you have 0s for labs and 0s for assignments, whatever that means, that you are missing that, and that's going against your attendance. This rule includes absences from class for any reason, including sickness or other outside responsibilities. If a student is dropped by an instructor due to absences, a grade of WF will be issued. A WF is a grade penalty, and it could affect your financial aid. The student must ask for reinstatement permission from the instructor to re-enter the class. This is very rare, doesn't happen very often. This request is denied. The student may petition the dean for reinstatement. Students who choose to participate in college-related activities such as SGA or athletics also must adhere to the attendance policy, and so do any other CCP students as well. Religious or solemn observance policy. This applies to you. You are allowed for 2 excused absences, but there is a form to fill out, and just send me that form. You can find it on the Student Services website. Send me that form. You still, of course, have to complete your assignments, but you are excused from that absence. Any student concerns that you may have, please just let me know at the beginning. You know, if you have a question about something, send me an email, contact me through my office location or my office phone or the email. Any of that's fine. If you still have student concerns and you need to contact the department chair, his contact information is here, or if you need to contact the associate vice president, her information is listed there for you as well. Those are all specific to this course. There are general policies that are listed here, such as following academic integrity. And we are going to, again, be using the proctoring software, and that helps to prohibit cheating on exams because the exams are closed book. However, if you still attempt to cheat, then you can be reprimanded by any of these things here. Confidentiality policy. This means that your academic records, your attendance, your grades, and all of that is protected through what's called FERPA. And if you would like someone else to be able to access your information, such as your parents or a spouse or an employer or someone like that, then you must fill out a release form. And so you can find that also on the JCC website. Accessibility services, if you have a particular disability that requires some kind of accommodation, then you'll need to go to their website and complete the information there. This next statement just says that Johnson Community College does not discriminate in admissions, employment, or any of its educational programs and activities based on any of these criteria: age, race, color, sex, national origin, disability, religion, creed, military, veteran status, genetic information, or any other characteristic protected under applicable federal or state law. And if you have any questions about that, it also gives you a website here, or you can also contact the Vice President of Student Services if you have any concerns about this. And her information is, she's located in the Wilson building. And then here you have a JCC cultural statement here as well. Within the diverse community of JCC students, faculty, staff, community members, we share a culture that binds us in a welcoming and endearing environment. Our partnership of a shared culture experiments is the aggregate set of beliefs, values, norms, language, and symbols that we are committed to living out together. And you can see a lot of that information there for you as well. Campus safety and security. If you have an issue that needs to be brought up to campus police, then please check with them. Their offices are located in the Wilson building, or you can contact them at their website. Minors on campus, this means that you're not allowed to bring children to campus. You know, they shouldn't be left unattended while you're in a class or anything like that. And so make sure your children have proper care. Cell phones, electronic devices, this doesn't apply to this course because it's online. Anytime you have any questions about using resources, if you have Blackboard issues or student email issues, you can click on the Student Academic Technical Resources tab at the top of the page. All right, I know that's a lot of information, but the syllabus is very important because that sets up the guidelines for the course. And so this information is always located here. Again, you can download it, you can print it if you like, or you can always refer to it in Blackboard. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me either in my office or through email, or you can call my office number as well. Okay, course information also includes the textbook information is listed there again for you. We've already been over that. The course assignment schedule, I just want to click on this to let you see what this looks like. What this will be is basically just a printout of the chapters that we're covering and the due dates. I try to make the due dates for you each Sunday, so that means you have kind of the entire week to work on the assignments. Sometimes exams due dates are through the week, but most of the time assignments will be due on a Sunday. All right, so that's most of the setup information. A couple of things here are the learning modules. This is where all of your assignments will be. And so I've got an introduction folder for you to kind of get started with, which we've covered most of this information already. One thing that we'll be using this semester are a few videos to complete a few assignments. And so I'll need to be able to see those videos. So you'll need to be able to share those with me somehow. You can't upload your videos to Blackboard. There's just not enough space in Blackboard for videos. So one way that you can do this is to, if you don't already have a YouTube account, create a YouTube account and upload your video there. And I've got instructions here on how to complete all of that. Or you can also save your video into a shared folder, either like a Google Drive folder or a Microsoft OneDrive folder, and then send me that shared link. Either way is fine. I just need to be able to view your videos when it comes time to doing those assignments. Like I said, some of the labs will require a video as part of your lab assignment. If you are new to Pearson's Mastering, I have a kind of a getting started guide here to kind of help you get started with registering for Mastering. But I think most of you should be familiar with that already. The discussion board link is here, but I also have discussion board links inside the learning modules folder. So what you'll do to get started with your actual assignments is go to each chapter folder. And so chapter 16 is the first where we'll start. I've divided chapter 16. It's a relatively long chapter, so I divided it into two parts. Part 1 is here, and the assignments here will be due Sunday, January the 16th. When you click in here, I've got a breakdown of the assignments that you'll need to be able to complete here. So you'll need to read the chapter, watch the lecture videos, complete the dynamic study module, and complete discussion board 1. And everything, hopefully everything that you need to complete this set of assignments will be located in this folder. So here you see there's a link to the PowerPoint notes. Here's a link to the lecture videos that you need to watch. Now these are lecture videos that I have recorded and have posted here for you. And then there are some additional videos that I've found in various sources. These are also helpful. They don't necessarily go through the notes directly, but they are helpful information on the topics. And then here's your link to the dynamic study module is located here. And this is a link to the first discussion board. I'd like for you to create a video that introduces yourself to the class. I'll try to open up several folders. I know some students in online asynchronous classes like to work ahead. And so I'll be opening up extra assignment folders. So if you have time and you like to work ahead, you should be able to, do that. So you can kind of work through to some extent at your own pace. Also in Blackboard, you'll see a link here for Respondus. And so when you click on here, you see another folder that includes your free proctoring software link, a tutorial video, and a practice quiz. So everything you need to get started with Respondus will be here, your proctoring software. Online exams are going to be closed book, and you're going to be using the proctoring software here. I've got 5 steps for you to do to kind of get started. One is watch this very short little 2-minute video that's created here. It just kind of gives you an idea of what it is, what it's going to look like. There's a student quick start guide is located here. It's just a PDF file that you can look at to kind of get you a little more information. Then you should download number 3, download the Respondus Lockdown browser. There is a link here. Once you click on this, you'll see that it opens up a website for you to download and install. This is free software for JCC students, and it will install it to your device. Once you install that, you can click on the icon that it installs, and I have a practice quiz here. Once you download the Respondus Lockdown browser software, you'll click on that to actually log back into Blackboard using the Lockdown browser itself. Click on this link to go back to this folder. Click on this link. This is just a practice quiz. This is just going to test your computer settings to make sure your computer, your device, your Chromebook is ready and active and updated enough to complete an exam using the Lockdown browser. So this is just for practice, but it is required to make sure that everything is working correctly to allow you to use the proctoring software. All of your exams will be located here in the exam folder, and I'll give you more information about that as we get closer to time to take exams. Last couple things here is I have a link for mastering links. These are just a few shortcuts for you. You can go to mastering directly using this link. You can go directly to your assignment page here, or you can use the links in the learning module folders. You can go to your mastering grade book here, or you can see your grades being transferred over into Blackboard. Please remember that mastering Pearson takes a little while to update your grades in Blackboard. They try to do that like on an hourly basis. So if you finish an assignment, you know, at 8:05 p.m., then it looks like you've only got a partial credit in Blackboard. That's because it's going to wait till 9 o'clock. It's going to wait to that next hour to update all of your grades. So just kind of be aware of that. It takes a little while to update and sync your grades from mastering into Blackboard. This e-text is how you would access your digital textbook. Is located there. The study area is kind of nice. If you haven't used this before, click on this sometime, take a look. There's a lot of resources here. You can study by the chapter. It has some practice quizzes that are very good. You have a link here for the e-text. You can click it there. By the way, here's where your link is inside of here to purchase a loose leaf printed copy of the textbook. If you'd like, you can purchase it here and they'll mail that directly to your house. So there's a lot of helpful links there in the study area. Your grades are located here. A link to your email address is there. I think that's about all about Blackboard that I can share with you at this time. I know that's a lot of information, but again, if you have questions, please contact me and I'll be glad to help you out. Thanks, guys. I'm looking forward to working with you this semester in A&P.